And welcome back to the Sawyer Center here at Southern Nazarene University. Game 2 here of the GAC NSIC Crown Plaza Classic. Now, as it'll be the home at Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm taking on the Minnesota State-Moorhead Dragons. As it'll be Minnesota State looking to go to 2-0 and SNU looking to avoid going 0-2 for the second consecutive season. Alex Friedman here with you. My new partner is Connor McKenzie with me last night as SNU had a tough loss, falling by just 3 against Northern State. Had the ball down by 3, could not get a shot off. But certainly a lot of positive developments in the loss for the Crimson Storm yesterday, including a career-high night from Noah Starkey and some important contributions, namely by freshman Jonathan Dunn. So today it's a very tall task for the Crimson Storm going up against a team the last 2 years that has gone 65-10, being the Minnesota State-Moorhead Dragons. And Connor, some keys to today's game for you for the Crimson Storm.
Keys to the game have got to be able to get out in transition today and just try to wear down this experienced team here from Minnesota State-Moorhead, a very, very experienced team in their own right. And just as you mentioned, their record, I believe, it was 65-10 for the last 2 seasons. An incredible mark. They got to be able to play with patience and maturity here today and not turn the ball over and drive to the bucket to get some foul calls. As we saw last night in the men and the women's game, how much factor free throws were, and the women were able to rebound, turn over, not turn the ball over as much, and also knock down the free throws. I think the men did a good job getting to the free throw line last night, but rebounding and turnovers really kind of amped it up last night. And I think if we see that trend change here tonight, change here this evening, we could see a possible victory here for SNU, but it's going to be a tough task here against Minnesota State.
Here are the starting lineups, beginning with the visiting Dragons. Their guards, junior Tanner Kretschmann and senior transfer John Doss, who had a tremendous team debut yesterday. The forwards include Aaron Lean. He's making his 77th consecutive start today for the Dragons. Ayubi from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, had a big second half yesterday to help lead the Dragons past Harding. And then Matt Nelson rounding out the starting lineup, the senior from Rosemount, Minnesota. For the SNU Crimson Storm, the guards Deshaun Portley, the senior from Plano, Texas, senior L.B. Willis from Dallas, and senior Anton Kankanpää from Finland. The forwards are C.J. White, senior from Gulfport, Mississippi, and Noah Starkey, sophomore from Hutchinson, Kansas. The Dragons are coached by Chad Waltall. His 7th season, he has had an incredible winning percentage with the Dragons at 142-51, assisted by Justin Wick and Tim Bergstrasser. For the Crimson Storm, Adam Bohach now in his 9th season with the Crimson Storm, assisted by Ryan Mahoney. Now, the Crimson Storm last year got off to an 0-2 start, trying to avoid that fate this season. Crimson Storm last year ended up with a losing record overall, but had a winning record in conference play. Mentioned yet another great season by the Minnesota State-Moorhead Dragons last year, in which they won 30 games for the second consecutive season. Another trip to the NCAA tournament as well, and a picked amongst the top in the, not at the very top, but amongst the top performers in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference again this year. It'll be Nelson and Starkey tipping it off at center court, and Starkey tips it back in, corralled by Willis of the Crimson Storm. Going from right to left will begin things off. They're in the grays with the maroon numbers and white letters. The Dragons in the reds with the white letters and numbers. Willis just inside the circle, had it poked away by Doss, but Willis gets it back, going to the left side. Opening possession for the Crimson Storm. Willis baseline, trying to shake Ayubi. Gives it off to Starkey. Starkey tries about a 10-foot jumper, can't hit it, and Lean with the rebound for the Dragons.
A little outside range there for Noah Starkey, but he's comfortable taking that jumper, just couldn't get it to fall.
Starkey was 8 of 9 on the floor on a career-high 17-point night yesterday. Doss, free throw line jumper, no. White and Starkey both there for the rebound. Minnesota State only had 5 offensive rebounds yesterday. Willis misses at the other end. And the Dragons preventing any second chance opportunities for the Crimson Storms. Scoreless about a minute in. Kretschmann over to Doss on the right wing. Gives it off to Lean, just to the left of the circle. Now working against Kankanpää. Giving it off to Lean, the lefty. In the corner, Doss near the arc, misses. Lean goes up, gets it, and got fouled. Foul be on Kankenpaw, his first and the team's first.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was thinking about from last night and going into this evening. SMU's got to be able to do a better job of blocking out on those weak side blocks and not give up any second chance opportunities to MSU.
Lean gets it off the inbound, back to Kretschmann. Nelson the kick out to Lean, tries to three and hits it. Aaron Lean, the senior, the local product from Moorhead, Minnesota, mentioning making his 77th consecutive start today. 3-0 Dragons lead and 18:26 to go in the first half. Portley's got it. They'll look to answer with a three. It's short, and Nelson with the rebound for the Dragons. Kretschmann up to the left side to Ayubi, to the basket, blocked away by Starkey, out of bounds. Starkey stating his case that it hit Ayubi before going out of bounds, but it will stay with the Dragons.
Looked like a glance maybe off his hands, but he must have gotten out of the way just before it hit the ground. So ball staying here with the Dragons. SMU got to lock in here in this early possessions.
Kretschmann got hit on the way towards the basket. It'll be on L.B. Willis, who's first. So the Dragons yesterday defeating Harding 84-78. A whistle away from the ball, and that will be against the Dragons. Doss picks up the foul, so the Dragons coming off an 84-78 win. They led by 11 at half, but then we're down by as many as 7 in the second half, but it was a 12-0 run that started with 6:44 to go that put them in the lead for good to get past the Bisons. Crimson Storm looking to get on the board, down 3-0. Willis bounces on the baseline to White on the bait and working against Doss, and Doss just got his second foul.
And 2 quick fouls there for one of your more experienced players here on this team. Not a good start there for Doss. 2 minutes 15 in.
Doss, a senior transfer from Division I St. Francis, and what a team debut he had yesterday. Game high 24 points, which he was 7 of 11 overall, 6 of 8 shooting, but he is now on the bench with 2 fouls. Portley, a great pump fake to get past Beninga, and that is just senior outmaneuvering freshman there, and Portley hits the three to tie it here with 17:35 to go in the first half.
I was about to say SMU missed an easy bucket on the inbound. Anton Kankenpaw was wide open underneath the goal, but Willis wisely found Portley for the three.
Ayubi a long three near the SNU bench, and he hits it off the glass.
Good grief.
Ayubi was 5 of 11 from deep yesterday. He was at the center of that key 12-0 second half run yesterday at 3 3-pointers. Tiptoeing along the baseline is Portley off to Willis. Approaching 17 minutes. White just inside the arc. Couple of dribbles to his right, changing direction, spinning, lost it. Comes right to Starkey, though, and the fortuitous bounce ends up in Starkey's hands, who lays it in.
Good bounce it was. And C.J. White about caught in no man's land as that ball was drifting towards the Dragons, and Starkey in right position able to flip it up and in for the easy deuce.
Nelson swings it over to Lean. Lean will drive in left side, and he got bumped by White. Third team foul before we hit the first under 16 timeout here. Jonathan Dunn will come in. Now White leaves. Dunn had a nice team debut last night. 12 points, couple of late threes. Beninga to the basket off the inbounds, high off the glass and in. Jelly Beninga, freshman from Maple Grove, Minnesota. Dunn will look to answer with a three. Missed it badly. It's hit out of bounds. Who touched it last? It was off the Dragons.
Trying to pick up where he left off last night in that same corner shot that he hit 2 in a row to bring him the Storm within 1 last night at NSU before they ultimately fell 91-88. Just a little off target.
Willis, the lob to Starkey, and he slams it down. Beautiful inbounds play. And Starkey, now talking about people picking up where they left off. 4 quick points for Starkey off the career-high 17 points last night. Crimson Storm down by a point. Lean open for 3, drains it.
Tough shot to hit there from Lean on the right side wing with a big 7-footer coming flying towards you. A good knockdown.
11-7, Dragons in front. Portley on the left wing. Stutter move. Throws it up with one hand, and it drops in.
A bit of a circus shot there from Portley. I don't even believe he was looking at the goal when he threw it up there hoping for a foul, but he's able to drop it in for 2.
Honorable mention, All-GAC performer last year in his first year in the program. A team high 23 points last night. 11-9. Dragons lead, and now a steal by Kankenpaw. Ahead to Willis against Kretschmann. Up and under move and able to lay it in to tie this game at 11.
Great move there from Willis with the defender coming in and just able to sidestep him for the easy scoop and score.
Beninga dribbling around the arc to his right inside, trying to get it up to Kretschmer. Almost stolen away by Willis. 13 on the shot clock. Kretschmann kicking out to Ayubi. Ayubi driving against Dunn, and he's called for the offensive foul. That'll bring us to a timeout on the floor with 14:59 remaining. Good start to this one. Tied up 11-11. This is SNUathletics.com. (11-11) tie. Tick under 15 minutes left in the first half. And the Crimson Storm looking to take their first lead. A couple of freshmen of the game for the Crimson Storm, Spate and Dunn. Spate now with it, handing it off to Willis. Over a screen, will miss, and Lean crashes the boards for the rebound. Kretschmann at the right elbow brings it back out. Number 41, Addison Park in the game for the first time for the Dragons. Ayubi, left wing 3 on the way. No good, and Dunn with a rebound.
Listen, you reverting back with this small lineup here with 4 guards and 1 forward, and White is. They just turn it over there off the miscommunication there from Wilson Kankenpaw. See how SNU utilizes this as this game wears on in the first half.
Kretschmann gets a step, fires up a 3. Willis pulls down the rebound, looking to push it ahead. Willis off to Kankenpaw in the corner. Handing up to White, just outside the lane, right side, working. And now shovels it off to Dunn. Beautiful find by White, and Dunn lays it in. SNU takes their first lead at 13-11.
UB got caught there ball watching C.J. White. There were all eyes on C.J. and just with Jonathan Dunn with a smart back cut down the middle of the lane for the easy deuce.
Park lost it, got it back, and then waltzed into the basket to tie this game up. A 13-13 game. 13:24 remaining in the first half. Willis off to White. Bangs his way inside and traveled.
And he's been called for that a couple times in his last 2 games. I believe that's his 3rd travel call in these last 2 games. He's got to be able to clean it up and be a little more patient there on the block.
UB leaves for the Dragons. Matt Anderson, redshirt freshman number 12, is in. Deshaun Portley back in for the Crimson Storm. And Quaylon Newton into the game for the first time. But there's Aaron Lean again. Lean off to a hot start tonight. And the Dragons in front 15-13.
Dragons here countering SNU with a bigger lineup versus going small ball here this afternoon. We'll see how this goes if SNU is surrendering rebounds, but they have two big bodies in White and Newton that can bang down low, just give up a couple inches in height as Spade getting stuck here, finds Mark.
Down to 4 on the shot clock. Dunn will fire it up off the back of the rim, and a foul is going to be called on Lean. Or no, excuse me, it's on Quaylon Newton battling with Lean. Noah Starkey will come back in. 2-point lead and the ball for the Dragons as Benninga brings it up. To the hole, Kretschmann contact, no call. Ball blocked then by Starkey on the putback attempt by Park. Newton the other way, kicks it out to Portley. Portley's three is good.
Good decision there from Quaylon Newton, seeing he was getting stuck there defensively with a couple guys back, and wisely flips it to Portley, knocking down the three, and has been shooting very well these last couple games.
Anderson to the basket, high off the glass, no. Park's tip-in attempt, no good as well. Newton got fouled by Benninga.
It looks like a clean rip there up the middle. He wisely just kind of guessed right where Quaylon Newton was going with the ball, but gets called for the foul with the contact there on the body.
We got a timeout on the floor with the Crimson Storm up by 1, 16-15. This is SNUathletics.com. (16-15) lead for the Crimson Storm with 11:45 to go in the first half. Crimson Storm with the ball off of Benninga's foul, his first and the team's fourth. Crimson Storm basketball. Now Spates got it for the Crimson Storm, off to Portley. Now it's Jonathan Dunn in between the circles, back to Portley. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Bounce pass for Starkey, had it blocked away by a couple of defenders.
Starkey smartly going up there with two hands on the ball. Just a good defensive play there to be able to get up there and not foul, as the layup here just missed there on the right side by the Dragons.
The other way, cross court to Portley, fires a three, no good, but he got fouled.
Yes, and you were the beneficiaries yesterday on the perimeter, getting fouled on the three. Made two of them, and this time just doesn't drop for the possible 4-point play, but they'll take 3 free throws where they can get them.
Sean Portley was the third leading scorer on the Crimson Storm last year, 10.9 points per game from the free throw line. Very good at 81.7%. But he misses the front end. Senior from Plano, Texas. First couple years at Laramie County Junior College before transferring to the Storm last season. It's the second of three. Portley yesterday, the big game, 23. 5 for 5 from the line. SNU lost a game in which they shot 50% from the floor. Northern State edged him 91-88. Portley able to make 2 of 3, and it's an 18-15 lead for the Crimson Storm. Park tried to send in the back door to Kretschmann. It's blocked right back to Park, though. Now driving, and he traveled. Pretty clear travel from up here. Park going towards the baseline.
Great defensive possession there by the Storm, particularly Noah Stark getting his hand in the passing lane, forcing Park to put it on the floor and ultimately causing him to travel.
Portley giving it off to Willis, back to Portley. Pump fake, drives in, left side of the hole. It's blocked away by Park. They have protected the rim very well in the early goings here today. Kretschmann, great ball handler, led the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio last year. Park at the right elbow, driving near the block where he's met with a double team. Now the double team backs off. Park gets the shot over Starkey, but he missed. Spate pulls it down and brings it up the far side. Spate stops inside the circle. They work it down near the corner to Willis. Willis back up towards the top. Down to 18 on the shot clock. Willis, jump stop in the middle of the lane, no good. Starkey's tip in, no good, and the rebound by Benninga. Benninga will push for the Dragons. Pass deflected to Kretschmann, finds a cutting Anderson. Offensive foul on Anderson, who barreled into Spate.
Tough call there, but good stuff there from Micah Spate. It looked like there may have been some minimal contact there, but the big man knocking down the little man always gets a good call from the official. Good stop there and good awareness there from Spate to be in the right position.
Anderson and Park leave. It's the starters, Ayubi and Nelson are back in. Second foul on Anderson and the sixth on the Dragons. So the Crimson Storm will be shooting free throws from here on out. Trying to look for Starkey, and it's off his hands, out of bounds. A turnover by the Crimson Storm, their fifth. Now, yesterday, SNU really had trouble with the bigs of Northern State, Chase Evans and Logan Doyle. But the thing about the Dragons, they don't have really those wide bodies down low. They've got some height, but really not your traditional feed it to the big man type players.
I think that also plays into the system that they work on. As we see here, they're just hitting up from the perimeter on just a rhythm dribble up jumper from the three-point line. I think their system is more free-flow guard play and with a little bit of post play and just having a presence at the rim to stop any driving forces. And SNU's got plenty of guys that can drive to the hole, and it's good to have some rim protection.
That was a great make by Kretschmann on the contested three to tie it. Here's Portley, the basket. He gets fouled.
And we see here again with Lane, not the biggest defender, but he's about 6'6", 6'7", has a very good frame, athletic frame to be able to slide over and get the help defense, and commits the foul, but keeps the layup from getting above the rim and force them to make two free throws.
Aaron Lean picked up the personal, his first. Portley back to the line. And yesterday in the first half, remember the Crimson Storm shot one free throw. Northern State really had a huge edge. And SNU eventually shot 21 free throws, but they were still minus 17 in attempts yesterday. But they've already shot. Now they're going to be up to, after Portley's done here, up to 5 here in the half.
And that just shows how aggressive both teams are being. The discrepancy of how much they free throws. Coaches I've been around have said they want their team to shoot more than the other team makes. And we saw that SNU shot no more than 21 free throws, but the other team shot 38 free throws and were just able to hit them down the stretch and just push the lead. That turned out to be the difference in the game, was getting to the line.
Lean left after picking up that foul, only one. So Matt Anderson, who's got the ball now, back in with 2 fouls. Left elbow jumper off the back of the rim. Tipped up and loose, grabbed by Nelson. Benninga open for 3 on the second chance. He can't hit. Foul on the rebound, and it will be against the Dragons.
SNU coming away with a good break there after giving up a couple of rebounds. Finally able to eventually get close to corral it, but then gets called for the foul on the Dragons and gives SNU the ball back.
It's on Ayubi, his second. So Ayubi and Doss, who were the two main offensive cogs for the Dragons in their win against Harding yesterday, both now on the bench with 2 fouls. They combined for 43 points yesterday in that win.
SNU's got to be able to take advantage for these next couple of fouls occurring in the next 8:44 of the first half and get to the line and stop what you play and halt any momentum here from the Dragons.
Now the Crimson Storm in the bonus. Jonathan Dunn going to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Coach Waltall pointing to something up on the scoreboard. talking with an official. Dunn hits the front end, and I think yesterday Jonathan Dunn had a very kind of talented freshman-like game. Had some great moments, but also had some freshman moments as well.
Exactly, getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar on fouling, or there's some silly fouls, or getting caught ball watching and not sliding over for help defense. But did knock down some very big shots that kept the game very close yesterday against Northern State.
Kind of wide-eyed in that first half in his first collegiate game, and he had 3 fouls very quickly in the first half, but really settled in the second half. It's a 4-point lead for the Crimson Storm. Anderson just to the left of the block to Beninga, who traveled. 6 turnover by the Dragons, and just 10 turnovers for the entire game yesterday against Harding. 22-18 with the Crimson Storm in front. We approach 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Willis finds Kankanpaw in the corner, tries a 3 and hits it.
Kankanpaw, very good rhythm, catch and shoot shooter, but also is very deadly with that pump fake and drive. Very quick first step. Defense had to lag off a little bit and gave him too much space, and he knocks down the 3.
Largest lead today at 7 points for the Crimson Storm. Lean looks to answer, no, and Willis able to get the weak side rebound. Willis pushing it up, shovels to Kankanpaw, lays it in and got fouled.
Great foul there by Kankanpaw. Willis with great awareness, seeing the cross-court pass. Had Dunn open in the corner for the 3, but took the easier route up to Kankanpaw for the foul.
7:40 left in the first half. The Crimson Storm are on a 9-0 run. They lead 27-18. Time out on the floor. This is SNUathletics.com. For the Crimson Storm, a chance to make it a 10-0 run as Anton Kankanpaw heading to the free throw line, looking to complete a 3-point play. Kankanpaw, the senior from Finland. Lefty rattles the free throw home, and a 10-point lead for the Crimson Storm at 28-18.
He's done a really good job to be able to force some turnovers, get out of transition, just be in the right spots here defensively. They got to continue that here. With 7.5 left, under 7.5 left here in the first half.
Beninga works it down to Anderson. 15-foot baseline jumper is good. Matt Anderson with his first points today ends the 10-0 run. 28-20 with 7:07 to go. And the Storm look to stay hot on the offensive end. Dunn over to Spate on the left side. 3-pointer is good.
Sean Portley come out with a mission to get hot and stay hot early. I believe he's now 3 of 4 from beyond the arc, picking up where he left off after 23 points last night against Northern State.
All knocked around. Nelson able to regather it. Portley 15 points now. Like you said, 3 of 4 shooting overall. Beninga's 3 off the shot of the rim. Anderson crashes in, puts it back, and got fouled.
And just a lack of awareness there from the Crimson Storm. Again, getting caught ball watching. They got to be able to find a body and put a forearm or put a shoulder or something into any of these defenders here in the box. I mean, you said it earlier that Moorhead does not exactly have the widest bodies, but they do have a lot of height there on the team, something lacking on SNU, so they're not going to be able to just jump straight up to get the rebounds. They got to be able to block out a little bit and create some room there down low.
Ayubi back in with 2 fouls. Also, Chris Olson, true freshman guard who did not play yesterday for the Dragons, is in. 3-point play by Anderson makes it a 31-23 lead for the Crimson Storm. 6:16 to go in the first half. Down in front of the Dragons bench. They work it around to the opposite side to Spate, to Portley. Portley pump fake past Olson. Now it's back to Spate. 6 on the shot clock. Down low to White, who bodies something and puts it in with 2 hands.
Great work of the possession there by the Crimson Storm, just whipping the ball around, making the Dragons work defensively and just keep shifting the defense over, and eventually left a wide open drive lane and dish to C.J. White for 2.
SNU over 50% shooting this half. Kretschmann's 3-pointer off the front of the rim. In the corner, Portley, pump fake, drives in, off to Spate. Now it's Kankanpah. He's open just inside the arc, and it rattles home.
Great offensive performance here by SNU these last couple minutes. I really like what I'm seeing here, Alex. Just a lot of good, unselfish ball movement.
Kankanpah's got 8. 35-23. Kretschmann in the hole, lays it in, and 1.
And while the offense of the Crimson Storm has been fantastic of these last couple minutes, now putting up 35 points in under 15 minutes, the defensive side here just lagged these last couple possessions, giving up some and-one opportunities here for the Dragons. Got to clean that up and stay in front of the offensive player.
Foul was on Spate, his first. Starkey back in the game, replacing White. 3-point play by Kretschmann pulls the Dragons within 9 at 35-26. Dunn straight ahead. A couple of dribbles to his right, off to Portley. Tries another 3, and he stays hot. His 4th 3-pointer in 5 tries this half. He's already got 18 points.
Good night.
38-26. The Crimson Storm, 5 of 8 as a team from beyond the arc. Lean elbow jumper is good. He wanted a foul on as well. Didn't get the call, so a 2-point jumper makes it a 10-point game.
You know, for people watching here at home and see SNU playing against Minnesota State-Moorhead or Northern State yesterday, and I think, who are these teams that they never heard of? These teams they haven't heard of are very good here in the conference they come from. And while it looks like close, it's Noah Starkey with a fantastic finish here. SNU playing very well here against a tough team against Moorhead.
Well, an excellent team in Minnesota State, as we've said several times, 65-10 the last 2 years. But they are now down by 12 after the putback by Starkey. The Dragons call a timeout. 4:17 to go in the first half. This is SNUathletics.com. Well, the Dragons coming off a timeout, down by 12, 40-28. Lead controlling for Minnesota State-Moorhead. They work it around to the left side to Kretschmann. Now Anderson was looking for lead on the baseline. Didn't have a window to pass it. Ayubi, pump fake on the baseline with the left hand, able to lay it in. Back to a 10-point lead for the Crimson Storm. The hot hand Portley gives it off to Spate on the round to the opposite side to Dunn. Back off to Spate. Foul away from the ball. It'll be on the Crimson Storm. And that is on Portley. Portley's first. Team seventh, but no free throws on the offensive foul coming up for the Dragons. Portley will leave. Cankenbaugh back in. Ayubi's playing with 2 fouls. Number 5 for the Dragons. Olsen giving it up to lead. Kretschmann trying to hand it off. We've got a foul called on the Crimson Storm.
And that'll be more free throws coming for the Dragons. As 18 foul now for the Crimson Storm.
Cankenbaugh second. Kretschmann in line for a 1-and-1. Leading returning scorer on this Dragons squad. Makes the first free throw. Both teams looking to replace their overall leading scorer from last year. For the Crimson Storm, it was C.J. Rodriguez at 17 points per game. For the Dragons, Isaac Sevely, who averaged 22 points per game. Kretschmann hits both. 40-32, but every time the Dragons have got it back within single digits, seems like the Crimson Storm have had an answer. Push it back out to 10+. Newton on the right side, off the front of the rim, no good. Anderson with a rebound for the Dragons.
Listen, you really got to lock in here with these 3 minutes left, as we know the Dragons can creep it back into a lead at any point. Only an 8-point game, just under 3 minutes left. Very close game here at the end of the first half.
Mendinga giving it off to Kretschmann. Pulls it back out with 12 seconds on the shot clock. In the corner, Ayubi's 3 on the way is good. Timeout called by the Crimson Storm as the Dragons have pulled within 5 at 40-35. 2:44 remaining the first half. This is SNUathletics.com. Five-point lead for the Crimson Storm in front, 40-35. 2:37 remaining. Portley on the left side, off to Spate. Spate in front of the bench to Newton. Back to Spate. Spate will try a 3 and hit it. Micah Spate, the freshman from Oklahoma City. Able to make it an 8-point lead as the Crimson Storm continue their hot shooting, 6 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Deep shot there from Spade, able to knock it down calmly with plenty of space given there on the perimeter. Burns the Dragons for the deep 3.
Response from Anderson off the back of the rim, and Portley able to track down the long rebound. Stops on the left wing, off to Spate. Over the lob to Starkey, who's able to tap it in.
A little off balance there from Noah Starkey, but able to corral it and drop it in for the lay-in.
Starkey 4 of 7 from the floor. 45-35, 5 quick points by the Crimson Storm. Back to a 10-point lead. Anderson to the bucket and lays it in.
Great play there from Anderson, getting Starkey in the air on the pump fake and a one-dribble drive to the cup.
45-37, minute and a half to go in the half. Portley has got a Ayubi on him, got the speed advantage, down in size, hands it off to Newton on the baseline amongst the trees. Hook shot, no, but there's Dunn somehow getting it and putting it back in.
Great play there from Dunn. Just a smaller guy on a smaller frame, stands at about 6'3", 6'4". Shot here from the top from Anderson, knocks down a three. Dunn, not the biggest player, but a very athletic player is Jonathan Dunn, able to get the rebound.
And Anderson is heating up. He's now got 10 points. Dunn, three is good. As the Crimson Storm, 7 for 11, shooting the three ball.
Big grief. I'm not sure what more you could ask for. Coach Bowahosh's team, they put 46 points on the board in the first half last night and 50 now, but surrendering 49 last night and 40 tonight. Got to really clean up on the defensive end and not foul, as we see Starkey here with the bump on the body, and more free throws coming for the Dragons.
Kretschmann will head of the free throw line. Starkey gets his first. A 50-point half for the Crimson Storm. So the point totals by half here in this very early goings of the season as Kretschmann's first free throw good. 46, 42, and now at least 50 before halftime here tonight. Kretschmann with another free throw. He is 5 of 5 from the line, and he's now got 10 points, 3 double-digit scores for the Dragons here this half. Portley leading the game with 18 for the Crimson Storm. 4-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The game clock down to 16. Shot clock winding down under 10. Spate with 6 seconds to go. Off to Starkey, middle of the lane. 3 seconds, off the glass and in. Now down to 4 seconds on the game clock. Kretschmann with 2, with 1 at the horn, in and out.
Fortunate break there for the Crimson Storm after player falls down the floor, misses the jumper, and SNU takes a 10-point lead in the halftime. I'm feeling pretty good if I'm Coach Bowash. They've shot and made more free throws than the Dragons have made. They've made 6 to 7 for SNU.
Well, what a first half for the Crimson Storm offense, in which they put up 52 points and lead by 10. We'll take a brief break, and when we come back, a deeper dive into the first half numbers. This is SNUathletics.com. Halftime at the Sawyer Center. It's SNU leading Minnesota State-Moorhead by a count of 52-42. Quite the offensive performance by the Crimson Storm in the first half. 19-32 from the floor overall at 59.4%. But from three-point range, they were 7 of 11. Led by Deshaun Portley, had 18 points, 5 of 7 shooting overall, 4 of 5 from three-point range. Noah Starkey also had 10 for the Crimson Storm as well. 3 10-point scores, tied for the team lead for the Dragons. Tanner Kretschmann, Aaron Lead, and Matt Anderson. Now, the Dragons, not like they shot poorly, 46.9% overall, and it's 6 of 14 from three-point range. On the glass, just a very slight edge for the Crimson Storm at 14-13. Neither team really turned it over a whole lot. Just 4 first-half turnovers by the Crimson Storm. Very impressive. 6 for the Dragons. So, Connor, some things that impressed you there in the first half.
I was really impressed with the patience here of SNU throughout the most of the first, if not the entire first half. Micah Spade, a freshman point guard, and Jonathan Dunn, another freshman guard, able to really be patient on the offensive side and let the flow of the offense come to them and let the defense not dictate where they're going to go with the ball. And also, Noah Starkey and C.J. White and Quaylen Newton crashing to the boards, getting solid rebounds. None of the players are really outstanding rebounding numbers. No player has more than 3, but everyone is contributing and crashing and buying into the system here today, and I'm really been impressed with them taking care of the ball. You mentioned 4 turnovers. That's a fantastic opportunity there for us, and you just not turning the ball over and giving themselves a lot of their own opportunities to advance the ball to the floor and just sticking to the game plan. Coach Bohaj often mentions that if you have no more than 10 turnovers, you win the rebounding battle and you shoot more free throws than the other team, more than likely you're going to count with the victory, and they're looking to go that way if they keep this up.
They've checked off all 3 of those boxes in the first half. So we've got about 10 minutes before half, before the teams play again. We will hear from Coach Bohaj. That's coming up in a few minutes. Take a bit of a break. This is SNUathletics.com.
Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. I'm going to send down our sideline reporter, Cheyenne Reynolds, to Coach Adam Bohas. Cheyenne.
All right, Coach, so great start to the game. Your team is lining up the floor with 52 points and shooting a 59%. What has been working for your team throughout this first half?
Yeah, we made a bunch of shots, so the challenge will be to guard these guys in the second half and just find a way to get enough stops here the last 20 minutes.
All right, well, thank you. Good luck.
All right, thank you, Cheyenne. That was sideline reporter Cheyenne Reynolds with head coach Adam Bohas. We'll be right back here with the start of the second half underway. SNU up 52-42. Don't go anywhere.
It's about to start the second half here at the Sawyer Center as the Crimson Storm leading by 10 at 52-42. As what an offensive performance, as we talked about before, for the Crimson Storm, and hopefully they can keep it going here in the second half. And trying to knock off a great Minnesota State-Moorhead team that was not in the top 25 preseason poll, but just outside of it. Back-to-back 31 seasons, and the Dragons will start back off. The starters are back out on the floor for both teams, which includes John Doss, number 5 for the Dragons, number 10 for the Dragons, who barely played at all due to 2 quick fouls. Ayubi to the basket over White, gets it to rim in. And down to an 8-point lead. So for the Crimson Storm, it's Willis, Kankanpah, Portley, White, and Starkey out on the floor for the Dragons. Kretschmann, Ayubi, Doss, Nelson, and Lean. Kankanpah had 8 first-half points. Off to Starkey. Cutting White. White off the glass and in.
Coach Bohas mentioned it just before coming back from halftime. SNU's really got to lock in here against the Dragons. We know how deadly they can be from the outside and inside games, so SNU's really got to lock in here, not give up anything easy.
Lean open for a 3. Can't hit it. Kankanpah tips. Willis able to track it down near the corner and get it off to Starkey. A play by L.B. Willis to save it for the Crimson Storm. He's not done much scoring-wise as Kankanpah misses the 3. Doss with a rebound for the Dragons. Doss to the basket, got fouled. John Doss yesterday, again, led the way for the Dragons with a 24-point outburst. Also had 9 rebounds, but barely played it all in the first half after getting 2 quick fouls. And Doss misses the first free throw.
He's got to be careful here in this second half not to get too overly aggressive. I know he wants to help his team the way he can, but if he's on the bench in foul trouble, he's got to be smart here in the second half.
Senior from Chicago hits the second of 2 free throws to make it a 9-point lead for the Crimson Storm. 54-45 the score.
And a 2-3 zone here. Look here from from the Dragons. Not sure they want to do that. They want to do that. They're going to have to get burned from the outside as LB Willis fires a three, but clanks off the side of the rim. He's not the strongest three-point shooter that the Crimson Storm have, but the Dragons got to be very tight on that zone.
The UB with the size advantage against Portley. They kick it out. Ball briefly poked away by Willis, but the Dragons control. Lean on the left wing. Step back three off the back of the rim. Portley able to get the rebound. The one thing I would caution the Crimson Storm against is not to be tentative. Protecting a double-digit lead against a very good team. Willis, a beautiful bounce pass over to Starkey on the right block to lay it in.
Great look there from Willis for his 4th assist of the ball game. Just Starkey just sitting down on the block, and the Dragons got caught ball watching for the easy two.
56-45, the lead back into double digits. Lean on the right side, floats it up with the left hand and in.
That's a great job there by Lean with using the big lanky body he has and able to float it over with the outstretched hand of the 7-footer in Starkey.
56-47. Portley in the corner. And working around to Kankanpah right of the circle. Portley, left wing three on the way. That one rimmed out. And Lean with the rebound for the Dragons. Leave it off to Lean. Lean driving into the basket over Starkey. Able to get it to go.
Yeah. Good night, Aaron
Lean's got 14, leading the Dragons. 56-49, the SNU advantage. And the high post, White kicks out to Kankanpah. Pump fake on the three. Now they're working around the right wing. In the corner, Kankanpah misses. But going up for the rebound and skying for it was Willis. Another chance for the Crimson Storm. Starkey to the left of the paint, off to White. Finds a cutting Kankanpah, but has it rejected. Great feed, but blocked away.
And just a good find there from the Crimson Storm. The second effort there from Willis was able to extend the possession, and Kankanpah slicing down under the basket just gets blocked out of bounds. Jonathan Dunn making an appearance back into the ballgame early in the second half.
Matt Anderson of the game for the Dragons, and there is Dunn in that corner spot, and just like last night, he drains another one.
Good night. I'm not sure how many teams are going to keep Jonathan Dunn open in the corner much longer this season. He's seemed to be burning those catch-and-shoot threes.
59-49, 16:06 to go in this game. SNU trying to pull off the upset. Kretschmann's three off the rim, but it gets pinballed out. Eventually ends up in Lean's hands. He misses. Ball still loose, and there's Dunn again. Dunn, right side, will now circle, pulling out for LB Willis. Starkey trying to get position on Anderson, and now they reset things with Dunn in between the circles. Willis controlling, 15 to go on the shot clock. Portley to Dunn. It's not in the corner, but in the same neighborhood. Miss. There's Kankanpah with an offensive rebound. No. Tip in, no good. Ball loose. Willis comes up with it. He'll kick it out. Portley had a chance to take a three in stride. Didn't do so.
Stripped it from the UB.
Gets it to the basket. Underhanded shot is good.
Can't express enough how much effort I love seeing here from Anton Kankanpah, fighting for rebounds, extending the possessions, and SNU coming away with the bucket to push this lead.
And to cutting Anderson, knifing through the middle, but unable to hit from a point-blank range. Now they carry on Portley down at the other end, and that brings us to a timeout on the floor. 15 minutes to go. Crimson Storm leading 61-49. This is SNUathletics.com. 61-49 lead for the Crimson Storm. 15 minutes on the nose left to go in this one. Dragons will have the ball. And every time it looks like maybe the momentum turning in favor of the Dragons, the Crimson Storm have found a way to answer.
Aaron Lean been a good answer there for the Dragons as Ayubi's able to get a nice post up over Dunn. The Dragons have answered with Lean, but Crimson Storm able to get out in transition and fight for extra possessions and just extend the lead and milk more time off the clock.
10-point lead, Dunn on the right wing. Left-handed pass over to Willis. 15 on the shot clock. Willis over to Kankanba in the corner to Dunn. Dunn with 10 on the shot clock. Down to 8. Driving with his left hand. Dragged his feet and will be called for a travel.
Yeah, it looks a little off. A little odd there from Dunn. It looked like he took one too many steps there trying to halt his momentum driving into the paint. Gets called for the travel.
61-51. Dragons trailed by as many as 7 in the second half yesterday, and now a steal from the Crimson Storm. Dunn going to the basket, throws it down with one hand.
Just a glimpse of the athleticism of the young freshman Jonathan Dunn putting it on the Dragons.
Yeah, we've seen the flashes of what Jonathan Dunn can be. And leave it for Anderson, blocked by Starkey. And I believe they're going to say goaltending was committed by the Crimson Storm.
And just a little bit down on its descent on that block attempt there from Starkey, but Omaha's still trying to wrap around. Jonathan Dunn drive it to the cup and pack it in on the Dragons. What a play.
You got to love the conviction to do that by the freshman as well. No fear. Just goes do it and forced Dragons to step up to him, and he able to throw it down with authority. Back-to-back double-digit efforts for Dunn in his first 2 games with the Crimson Storm. Spate with a 3, no. And a great save by Newton from it going out of bounds. The ball hangs up on the putback from White, and it does not go. The rebound by Lee. It is a 63-53 lead for the Crimson Storm. Anderson now 10 points off the bench today. Kretschmann with a 3, leans into it and gets it to go. Now the 7, 63-56. 13 minutes left in this game. SNU trying to go to 1-1 on the season. Their first win of the year and an upset of the Dragons. Willis to the basket, no good, but there's White flying in and tipping it in.
Lack of blocking out there from the Dragons again burns them, and C.J. White, beneficiary, gets the easy tip in.
Kretschmann out to Doss. Doss behind the back dribble, goes to the basket, no good, but he got fouled.
Great move there from Doss, able to squirm free of the long arm stretch of L.B. Willis, drives in for the foul. Good play.
White gets the foul, his second. John Doss going to the free throw line for 2 shots. Last year, the Dragons participated in this same event, went 1-1. They lost their first game, won the next. And trying to go to 2-0, but also trying to erase a deficit. As Doss looking to make it and pull his team within 7. He's able to do just that. They have a whistle. Not exactly sure what that was about, but in the end, it'll be SNU ball after the make by Doss. Newton, right of the lane, bounce pass to Dunn, lets it fly, no good, and Anderson with a strong rebound.
Jonathan Dunn looking to feel it here this afternoon and coming out with 14 points off the bench and 5 of 9 shooting, taking any open shots he's got. Driving to the lane, another foul down underneath.
Lean fouled on the crossover. By the way, looking up at the fouls, it's Newton's second, the third by the Crimson Storm. Dragons have yet to commit a team foul this half. We're almost 8 minutes into the half.
And it just shows me that the Storm just kind of been settling for some outside shots. A lot of outside shots. Had a couple drives to the cup, but just got to be more aggressive down the stretch.
Oh, beautiful fake by Doss. Takes the three, but he missed. And now a foul will be called on Ayubi, just as we were talking about how the Dragons had yet to commit a foul this half.
I think their ears were burning. They are down on the floor. And first foul committed by Ayubi on the loose ball going against Quaylen Newton. And just 3 fouls for the Crimson Storms. A very clean game here. We've seen only 6 turnovers total for the Crimson Storm to just 7 for the Dragons.
Spate to the basket, lays it in, uses his speed to circle around the defense. 67-58 lead for SNU. Lean in front of his bench, off to Ayubi. Doss wants it on the opposite side. Ayubi kick out to Kretschmann. To Anderson on the left block. Over White, missed it badly, and Newton had it. It's taken away. Anderson with an easy flush.
And Newton's got to be more patient there with the ball. He's got 2 defenders, very long defenders in front of him, trying to go in between them. Just was not a smart play.
Well, Matt Anderson himself has 14 off the bench. The Dragons as a team, 9 bench points total against Harding yesterday. And now we've got a foul on the Crimson Storm. And probably a very well-timed timeout on the floor coming up here with 11:10 to go. 67-60. The Dragons in front. Take a break. This is SNUathletics.com. (67-60) lead for the Crimson Storm. We approach 11 minutes to go in this game. And what made the Crimson Storm so great in the first half was well above average outside shooting, and has come back to them here in the second half. I'll explain in a moment. As Ayubi able to post up and get the little floater to go. They were 7 of 11 from deep in the first half, but just 1 of 8 here in the second half. Down to a 5-point lead. Spate off to Portley. Starkey posting up on Anderson and cannot get it to go. And the rebound by Ayubi. A chance to get as close as 2 for the Dragons on this possession.
And Noah's got to be able to get that one to drop as an open jump shot here for the Dragons. SNU being smart, though, working the ball inside as the game should be played from the inside out, not settling for bad jumpers. Good pass there from Willis to Starkey. And gets a friendly roll to drop in for the 2.
Hung up there and eventually goes through the net. Noah Starkey continuing his very impressive start to the season. 14 points tonight after 17 yesterday. Season high last year as a freshman was 12. Just eclipsed that already twice this season in his first 2 games.
What a difference it's one season is made here for Noah Starkey as Anton Kakepaw get called for the blocking foul. Looked like Ayubi may have extended the forearm there, just a tad there.
Yeah, to me it looked like that Ayubi hooked him, and that's a tough call against the Crimson Storm.
It'll be his 3rd foul with now 9:53 left, and the 15th foul for the Storm. They only have 1 more foul to give before it's free throws the rest of the way, so they got to be smart and try to utilize that last foul to give.
Kankanpah will leave and Quaylen Newton back in. 69-62. Ayubi step back 3 is pure.
Man, what a nasty step back that was from a UB on Quaylen Newton. Was draped on him in a simple hesitation dribble step back and was able to knock down the cool jumper.
He's made 7 of 9 overall, 3 of 4 from deep, a 17-point effort for a UB, and it's now a 4-point lead. Willis off to Starkey, back to Willis. He's only got 2 points today. Has not made a shot from the field. Newton pulls up over Lean and hits it.
What a shot there by Portley with a nice dribble step back 3 of his own to come back out of UB and put the lead back to 7.
Sean Portley's up to 23, leading all scores. A little bit more breathing room at 72-65, 9 minutes left.
And shaping up for another fun finish here in the Sawyer Center. A 3-point game last night between SNU and NSU, and just I see this one sticking that way as John Doss knocks down another 3-pointer and pushes the lead back to 4.
Well, it was Doss and a UB from deep that led the way in the second half yesterday for the Dragons in their win against Harding. The Dragons call a timeout after they made 3. It's 72-68 with 8:49 remaining. This is SNUathletics.com. (68-72). The Crimson Storm leading by 4 with 8:49 remaining. Coming off a timeout by the Dragons. The Crimson Storm will have the ball. 10 of 18 shooting from the floor for the Dragons this half. 9 of 22 for the Crimson Storm. Portley driving towards the baseline, went down, kept his dribble. Ball is loose, still loose near the sideline, and Newton had part of his body on the sideline, and the ball will be ruled out of bounds to the Dragons.
Great effort there by Quaylen Newton and the rest of his Storm team. Unfortunately, he looked like his ankle or shin bone was just on the edge of the line and just got caught out of bounds back to the Dragons.
Jonathan Dunn, who's had some exciting moments in this game, is back in. 4-point lead for SNU, closest it has been in a long time. Kretschman over to Lean. Lean sizes up a 3 and hits it. It is a 1-point game.
And I'm not sure how Lean was able to hit that shot. He had Jonathan Dunn draped over him on the closeout.
Well, Dunn just shook him with the crossover and then took it to the rim.
He's in a world by himself right now with Jonathan Dunn when he's getting the ball going against a lot of very experienced players here and really showing out here with 16 points on the afternoon.
Down to 13 on the shot clock for the Dragons. Anderson on the pick and roll, able to get it, lay it in, and fouled by Dunn.
Dragon bench has really come alive here these last couple of minutes as Anderson's got a chance to tie this ball game.
We've got a timeout on the floor with 7:44 remaining. Free throw coming up for Matt Anderson to potentially tie this game at 74-73. This is SNUathletics.com. Storm had a 63-51 lead after a dunk by Jonathan Dunn at 14:04, but a 22-11 run for the Dragons since. This game was tied 18-18 in the first half. Crimson Storm went on a 10-0 run, and really the lead had been in that 8 to 12 point range for a long time thereafter. Anderson will hit the free throw, and we are tied 74-74. It is that first tie since the 18-18 score in the first half.
And it's just not really necessarily been a lapse in the Crimson Storm. They've really been attacking the goal here, missed some opportunities, and C.J. White spinning baseline, called again for the travel on the baseline. That's his fourth time to be called for a travel in the last two games. The Dragons have just been hitting shots these last couple minutes. SU has really been in their face when they're hitting these shots, just been able to make them just better defense and better offense and defense.
Dragons have not led since it was 15-13, and they look to go in front and break the 74 all-time. Tried to feed on the back door to Kretschmann. It's stolen away by Willis. Willis to the basket, got fouled. He'll have a couple of free throws coming up. L.B. Willis has been quiet offensively today. Is 1 of 6 from the floor, just 2 points for Willis. These are the first free throws taken by the Crimson Storm this half, as Willis gets the first one to roll in.
Coach Bowash should not be happy with that here in this second half. They took 8 in the first half, made 7 out of 8, and now just getting their first 2 with 7:10 left in the second half as Willis knocks down the second of 2 to put the lead back to 2. Storm got to be more aggressive here. This game wears on.
You kind of look at the general keys you talked about that Coach Bowash has. 4 turnovers in the first half, 6 this half, 8 free throws in the first half. Just those were the first 2 here of the second half. So the back in the lead, though, but Anderson able to continue his big game. He's up to 19 to lead the Dragons. And again, the Dragons bench yesterday contributed barely anything, just 9 points as a unit against Harding, but Anderson leading the bench charge today. 76 all. Portley stops at the right block, bounce pass to White, quick shot, no good, tipped up, and there's Anderson for the rebound. Matt Anderson, redshirt freshman from Fall Creek, Wisconsin, having a big game here today in his second game in a Dragons uniform. Down to 6:13 to go. Kretschmann finds Anderson again, who lays it in and gets fouled.
And just a lapse there. L.B. Willis really gambled there for the steal at the top of the key, and nobody helped. At least no one helped in time for them to crash on the ball handling. Matt Anderson left all alone there down low for the easy bucket and the foul by Portley.
Those slip screens are working time and time again for the Dragons with Anderson on the receiving end. And now a timeout has been called as again the Dragons in front 78-76. Their first lead since it was 15-13. 6:08 remaining. This is SNUathletics.com. Matt Anderson looking to complete another three-point play. And the free throw is up and good. Yesterday, the Dragons trailed by 11 in the second half. Trailed by as many as 7 in the second half against Harding. Trailed by as many as 12 on several occasions today, and now they lead by 3. Portley stops at the elbow off the spate. Under 6 minutes to go, and the Crimson Storm trailing for the first time in a while. Starkey gets it. Looked like he got fouled by Lean. There was no call. Then he went up for the shot attempt and does get fouled by Anderson.
And good play there from Starkey, fighting through the contact that was there and able to get it back and put it back up and get the foul call after the second effort. Got to keep fighting on every possession here. Down 3 against a very good team on your home floor. Starkey misses the first free throw. Not the most reliable guy you want on the free throw line, but he's got to be able to knock these down when they matter, especially here late in the second half, down 3.
58.2% last season, and is able to make 1 of 2. 2-point lead for the Dragons, 79-77. Dragons have shot very well here in the second half. It's 63.6%. Kretschmann to Anderson. He's been the hot hand. Ooh. And then Anderson is called for a travel.
And just lost the ball there out of his hands and dropped it. He's not allowed to touch it even after it hits the floor, and Anderson moving on here.
Yeah, Coach Maltall for the Dragons thought it got deflected, and that's kind of how I saw it as well, but in the officials' views that he just kind of threw it up and then came down with it. Now we've got a foul away from the ball. It'll be on the Crimson Storm.
And back-to-back sloppy possessions here by both teams, essentially just turning the ball back over to each other. And SU not getting away, not able to get away to come away with a shot. Anytime you come down the floor with a possession, don't get a shot up, you lose that possession. And SU can't afford to take many losses here down the stretch.
Down 79-77. Dragons with the ball. Lean now with the travel.
Good grief. Yeah, I think just got a little bit eager there. He saw a lane that he had at the top of the key and was able to scoot by the defender, but just took one too many steps there to get by. And SNU will try to work the way back here and try to get the lead. With only down 2 with plenty of time left, SNU just got to work through the possessions and look for the easy shots.
Willis, the kick out to Dunn in the near corner, takes it on the left wing to Kankenpaw, working on the opposite side to Spate. 10 to go on the shot clock. Spade looking for Starkey. Feeds it to no one in particular. It's deflected. And eventually Doss comes up with a loose ball. Not really sure where Spade was going with that pass.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to force something in there as the shot clock was winding down. Just tried to do too much there and not make the easy pass.
Step back jumper from Kretschmann is good. A 4-point lead for the Dragons. Timeout, SNU, 81-77. The Dragons in front with 4:25 to go. This is SNUathletics.com. Four-point lead for the Dragons. That has matched their largest lead of the day. Last 4-point lead for Minnesota State-Moorhead was at 11-7. Jonathan Dunn's got it. 15 on the shot clock. Portley off the screen. Hits a big three.
Great play there. Just some simple down screen action. Guard slicing to the cup, and Deshaun Portley coming around from the baseline. Gets a good double screen there. Kankenpaw. Good hard screen.
Six made three-pointer. 26 points overall. It's a 1-point lead for the Dragons. Lean trying to get around Kankenpaw, fading away. The jumper no good, and a strong rebound by Starkey.
Kankenpaw is going to have to really keep working there on Lane. He's the best defender there for the Crimson Storm. Is Willis with a great pump fake drive on the right side. Gets it to drop in and take the lead back.
And the Crimson Storm now in front 82-81. Here we go, 3:28 to go in this game. Doss guarded by Portley to Ayubi. Now it's Kretschmann. Anderson has had a huge game. Off to Kretschmann to the basket. It's blocked by Starkey. Bounce pass ahead to Portley.
Ooh.
Took his eye off it. Contact made. The foul is on the floor on Doss.
Oh, could have been a bad break there for the Crimson Storm after Portley not able to corral the pass there from Dunn, but gets it back. Unfortunately gets fouled on the baseline.
That is only the fourth team foul on the Dragons this half. Still a couple to give. And now a turnover. And the ball just thrown straight to Lean.
Yeah, I've seen those inbounds plays for the Storm. That other team's run. Jonathan Dunn was looking to be the decoy there on that baseline cut, and Willis threw it to him.
Offensive foul as Ayubi trying to get position on Dunn. Clutching the left side of his chest, but he appears to be all right.
Good break there for Dunn after the miscommunication there on the baseline play. Gets the beneficiary of the offensive foul there on the Dragons, and going back the other way. SMU with a chance to build this lead as we get closer and closer.
And that is the fourth foul on Ayubi. Willis off to Portley. 15 to go on the shot clock. Elevates off the back of the rim. Ayubi with a rebound for the Dragons. They're down by one. They've got the ball with 2:33 to go. Lean on the right wing, off to Kretschmann. Anderson on the left side, now to Ayubi. Ayubi just beyond the free throw line. Doss contested three, no good, and Willis with a rebound. Down to 2:13 and a 1-point lead for the Crimson Storm. Willis to the basket, no. Starkey got fouled after he pulled down the rebound.
Great man-sized rebound there for Nova Starkey, and amongst the trees around his size, able to grab it down with two hands and just use his size and length to get the rebound and secure another possession for the Storm.
But just the 6-team foul, so no free throws here for Starkey. Nelson coming into the game. Now Anderson, who's had a big game, 22 points off the bench, now out of the game. Willis inbounding right to the basket to Portley. Fresh shot clock after the foul. Approaching 2 minutes to go in this game. Jonathan Dunn in there in crunch time again for SNU. And he's open for three. Here it is, and he hits it.
Jonathan Dunn really making waves here in these opening couple games, Alex. Up to 19 points, I believe 3 of 5 shooting from deep. Or 3 of 6 shooting from deep, excuse me. Just a great game and great sequence here from Jonathan Dunn, communicating here with the experienced seniors here on the floor.
Timeout, Dragons, 85-81. The Crimson Storm in the lead with 1:40 to go. This is SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm, second game of the year, second tight game down the stretch. Lost by 3 to Northern State yesterday. They lead by 4 with a minute 40 to go today. Lead off the Dragons' timeout.
Ooh.
Throws into the backcourt to Kretschmann, and
geez.
Willis a little bit too aggressive maybe. And he fouls Kretschmann, who will now have free throws coming up.
I love the aggressive there from LB Willis. He's got to be able to pick his spots and not over gamble too much. He's one of the better defenders and athletic players in the GAC conference at that point guard spot, but he's got to be smarter to not gamble that with so much time left and only up 2 possessions.
1-1 for Kretschmann. Junior, the top returning scorer on the Dragons, coolly drains the first free throw. He is from Fargo, North Dakota, just across the border from Moorhead, Minnesota. It's both, and it is a 2-point lead. 85-83, Crimson Storm with the ball, a minute 35 remaining. They'll be done between the circles, dribbling towards the sideline, now off to Willis. 15 to go on the shot clock. Willis to Portley. Portley out the free throw line. Stutter step towards the baseline. 9 seconds to go on the shot clock. A minute 15 left in the game. Dunn with 5 seconds of the shot clock. Towards the rim. Got fouled.
Great play there from Dunn. Awareness there. Seeing the shot clock winded down. Had a single defender on him and no help side in the paint. There for Dunn. He just had the easy drive, and now he's got to knock down 2 free throws with 1:12 left. A lot of pressure on the shoulders of this young freshman.
2 of 2 from the line today, 19 points overall. He is shooting 2, and it's the first.
You know, I've seen a lot of freshmen play in my years of watching college basketball, and a lot of them can get pretty frazzled and nervous and can't knock down free throws or big shots under 5 minutes. But Jonathan Dunn has stood out from the crowd here tonight and really shown how mature he is on the floor.
It's both to make it a 2-possession game with a minute 12 to go. LSU excellent from the line today at 12 of 14. 87-83 with a minute and 10 left as Kretschmann gets it past half court. Giving it off to Lean, guarded by White. A UB to the left of the paint. A UB over Willis, and it rolls in. A 2-point game, 56 on the game clock.
Willis had to be smart there on the post of knowing he's up against a bigger, longer defender and had 3 fouls and can't afford to get a 4th.
Dragons looking for a stop, but it's Willis to the hole, got fouled. Not looking to just burn off clock. Being aggressive, saw Lane, took it, and will head to the free throw line.
Willis, you really utilizing his quickness. I'm not sure how people realize how much of a good first step Willis has against a lot of defenders he's gotten. He's been able to blow by about anybody that comes at him in his career here at SNU.
LB Willis, 6 points on the day. The senior's first is good. And Dunn will come back in. I think it also says a lot about Coach Bohach. He's willing to play Dunn on defense here in these critical situations as well. Sometimes those talented freshmen, you'll have the offense for defense substitution, but he's going to let Dunn play on the defensive end. A 4-point lead after 2 big makes at the free throw line. Now to 40 seconds left. Lean to the basket, able to get past Kankanpon, lay it in to pull the Dragons within 2. They'll call timeout at 37.1 seconds to go. They'll take a break. 89-87 the score in favor of the Crimson Storm. This is SNUathletics.com. .1 seconds to go. A little surprised there's not even any kind of pressure in the backcourt applied by the Dragons. Looks like they are going to just play defense, hope to get a stop. down by 2.
A lot of strength, a lot of commitment here and from the head coach here of the Dragons, knowing that there's a full possession and then some left over from the time clock with a difference of about 6 seconds left, and just trusting his team to play defense. They have a lot of experience here and just got to try to not foul.
Shot clock down to 6. Willis kicks out. Dunn passed open three, goes to the basket and lays it in with 7.2 seconds. It's a 4-point lead. Kretschmann with 4 seconds, 3 seconds, off the top of the backboard. No good, and that's the game. SNU with a huge win over Minnesota State-Moorhead here at the Sawyer Center.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around Jonathan Dunn right now. Any other freshman, any sophomore, junior, senior, heck, even coach would have taken that three he would have had on the left wing there, and he decides to not do that. Pump fake, one dribble drive to the goal, gets a layup, seals the game. Great play by Jonathan Dunn.
And because I think of his size and length, he's able to get to the basket from the arc very quickly, beat the shot clock like he did. Jonathan Dunn with 23 points and able to help lead the Crimson Storm to a win again against a team that has won 30 games each of the last 2 years, receiving votes in the top 25 poll. So after a disappointing loss last night where the Crimson Storm could not get off a shot on the final possession of the game, they bounced back on the second game of a back-to-back and able to beat a very good Minnesota State-Moorhead team here today. The final score 91-87. Take a break and then look inside the numbers in a moment, and then maybe some post-game interviews as well. This is SNUathletics.com. What a win for the Crimson Storm today as they beat the Minnesota State-Moorhead Dragons 91-87. Now, again, they had a lead by as many as 12, then got down as the Dragons stormed back in the second half, but never panicked and able to come back and eventually win. Jonathan Dunn ends up scoring 7 of the team's final 9 points of this game, including that layup with about 7 seconds left to seal it. As the Crimson Storm winning today, 91-87. They go to 1-1. The Dragons will also be 1-1, so the team split their 2 games here as part of this GAC NSIC Classic, presented by Crown Plaza at SNU. The Crimson Storm, again, another strong offensive game, 88 last night, 91 today. And they end up shooting a total of 53, over 53% from the floor, 11 of 23 from beyond the arc, and 14 of 16 from the free throw line. So I like to call the true shooting percentage excellent today for the Crimson Storm. The Dragons, they end up shooting 52.5% for the game, 17 of 29 from the floor in the second half, a part of the comeback, 10 of 25 from deep overall, 13 of 14 from the line. Rebounds plus 10 for the Crimson Storm today, 32-22, and they're able to do it on the glass. Turnovers a little bit choppier in the second half, 9 turnovers in the second half, 13 for the game, just 11 for the Dragons, who had 10 yesterday and just 11 today. Excellent job of taking care of the ball. Deshaun Portley led all scores with 26, but we've already talked about Jonathan Dunn a ton, rightly so. Both Portley and Dunn going 8 of 12 from the floor today. Dunn had 23 in his second game with the Crimson Storm. For the Dragons, it was Matt Anderson off the bench, the redshirt freshman with 22. Aaron Lean with 19. Ayubi with 19 as well. Tanner Kretschmann with 17. John Doss, who had over 20 yesterday in the win against Harding, was limited just 6, barely played in the first half due to a foul trouble. But a theme we saw with the Dragons yesterday, the scoring was very concentrated among a handful of players, and that was the same deal for the Dragons here today. As the Crimson Storm again come away with a 91-88 win. So a game in which, again, they led by in that 8 to 12 point range a lot, then got down as Minnesota State. We thought, it was bound to make a run at some point. But to me, it really kind of showed a pretty impressive in that they were able to, despite having that lead slip away, come back and then regain control of the game and eventually win.
Absolutely. Just a fantastic, fun performance here from the Crimson Storm. Just a lot of players really coming through. The big guys and C.J. White and Noah Starkey really came through on some crucial rebounds. L.B. Willis getting in there with rebounds. While he's not the most dynamic scorer on the team for the Crimson Storm, they know where their offense is linked to, just how it's set up. But what he does, we see here on the stat sheet, 8 points and 6 rebounds and 6 assists, and calmly knocking down 4 free throws. Very important free throws in the second half. Really paved the way for SNU to open up the lead and get back into the game after they were down by as much as 4 and end up winning by 4. I harped on free throws earlier in this game, how they want to shoot more than the other team makes, and SNU shot 16 free throws, and MSUM made 13, so that was about the difference in the game, 4 points and 3 different free throws. If they're able to get 4 more free throws made, then it's a tie ball game and going into overtime, but unfortunately that wasn't the case for MSUM. Just kind of ran out of gas, and SNU really kicked it into gear with players like Jonathan Dunn doing special things and making some big shots, and just a lot of heads-up plays there from the game inside and out.
Got C.J. White standing by. We'll take a break and be back with him. This is SNUathletics.com. Back here with senior forward C.J. White. C.J., tremendous win today off a team that's won 65 games the last 2 years, and you guys controlled a lot of this game, but they made a run, regained the lead. But what was it like there in that huddle after the Dragons went in front, not to panic, and for you guys to be able to play very strong down the stretch and come out with the win?
Well, Coach was telling us to keep our composure. We knew they were going to make a run towards the end of the game, so that's big on our coaching staff and us just to stay with it and not fall apart at the end right there when they took the lead.
Jonathan Dunn, freshman, unbelievable game today, 23 points. I'm sure you've seen this ability in practice, but to see him step up deep in the game like he did today, I mean, that was a really special performance.
Yes, I believe the shots he hit yesterday in our game, even though we lost, gave him confidence. And we knew he could hit those type of shots all year. We've been here since August, so we expect that from him. And I'm starting to see the confidence in him every game.
2 very close games to start off here against both Minnesota State-Moorhead and Northern State yesterday. If you come away these first 2 games, what are some of the biggest things you feel that I guess were kind of the big positives moving on into the rest of the season?
Just not falling apart. That's one thing I took out of this, and we stayed together through it all. Even though we lost yesterday, we still stayed together. We played hard, and we executed at the end of this game to get the W.
Very well put. That's senior C.J. White. We thank you very much for your time, and we'll be back with Coach Bohach in a moment.
Thank you.
We're back with Coach Bohach here as we wind down on this great win for the Crimson Storm today, 91-87 against an excellent Minnesota State-Moorhead team. Yesterday, a tight loss against Northern State. I imagine you're extremely proud of your team to not only come back with a win less than 24 hours later, but against such a good team like them.
Yeah, it was an awful good test so early in the year, just how you're going to respond. And I told the guys today we were going to learn more about our team than we did yesterday. And so really proud of how we kind of hung in there. And the game kind of took the rhythm of yesterday's game where we had a lead and then kind of let them back in it. And they went up 4, I believe they're late. And we responded much better today than we did yesterday.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. You had kind of a lead for a big portion of this game in that 8 to 12 point range. They made a run, got back in front. What was the message delivered to this team once you got down to be able to kind of regroup and then go back in front?
Yeah, our seniors were saying all of the correct things in the huddle, and that's sure encouraging. And the guys left yesterday with a bitter taste. Not so much the outcome of yesterday, but just how we maybe didn't respond to the adversity within that game the way that we'd like to. And so I think we all feel much better about how we responded to some adversity today.
Jonathan Dunn is just a freshman, but boy, did he come up big for you late in this game, not only from threes and then that drive that put it away at the end. And he had finished with 23 points, and I would assume a kind of offering of a glimpse of hopefully many things to come from him.
Yeah, I think so, Alex. We sure think Jonathan has a chance to be a really special player. And what's neat is the way he carries himself and things. You can tell that the guys really trust him. Yesterday he hit a couple shots late, and then today the ball kept finding him late. And that's unusual for a freshman. So I'm proud of our seniors for getting off the ball, and I'm proud of him for having the courage to make the plays at the end.
Coach, congrats on a great win today. We thank you for your time, and good luck coming up here against Henderson State in a few days.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex.
All right, that's Coach Bohach. We'll be back with Connor for the final thoughts here in just a moment on SNUathletics.com. All right, we wind down here from the Sawyer Center as we finish our coverage here of this Crown Plaza Classic. 3 of the 4 games were tremendous here as the teams from the GAC and NSIC lock up at the Sawyer Center. Alex Rebid and Connor McKenzie here as we wind things down on the broadcast, coming off a win for the Crimson Storm at 91-87. And I think that both C.J. White, Coach Bohach, they echo the same thing, that got down by 4, but there was no panic whatsoever. That everybody was calm, and really there was a lot of senior leadership, he said, kind of taken over the huddle by guys like C.J. White and L.B. Willis, and helping this team come out for a big win today.
Absolutely. Just those 2 players, including Deshaun Portley as well, have seen a lot of basketball in their time here, so nothing should really be surprising to them in these situations, being down by 4, whether it's in a simple pickup game, you're in high school, you're in college. When you're down, it's important not to get frustrated or flustered and start blaming other guys on the team. They showed great leadership to be able to continue to distribute the ball and not try to play hero ball down the stretch and really work the ball around. And the ball, as Coach Bohach just said, just happened to find Jonathan Dunn late, and he was able to do great things with it. And SNU really capitalized on getting a lot of offensive boards and had 16 second chance points, just 6 for the Dragons. They were just able to really take advantage of what the defense was giving them. They were open lanes on the drives. They were going underneath a lot of screens, which left Deshaun Portley and company open for quite a few threes here tonight, and just were able to light it up tonight, establishing a lot of good shots and also getting to the free throw line late in the game when it mattered.
So the Crimson Storm go 1-1 here. They've got a couple of conference games coming up on Thursday and Saturday out in Arkansas between Henderson State and Ouachita Baptist, and then a tournament out in West Texas before an exhibition against Wichita State. Aren't back here at the Sawyer Center until December the 1st against Harding, and we saw Harding on display here for a couple of games. And then, of course, as always, very good team, and that'll certainly be a big matchup. So that's the next home game, and again, the next game overall Thursday, conference game at Henderson State. Connor, your final thoughts on today's victory?
Today's victory, I thought there was a lot of good things to take away from this game. Only, I believe, 12 turnovers there for the Crimson Storm to 13 for the Dragons. So they're very good at being able to take care of the ball, just like they did last night against pressure situation. Didn't turn it over, and when they did turn it over any fast in the game, they were able to get back on defense and not surrender a lot of points off turnovers. I think SNU had 12 to just 10 for MSUM, so they were just able to really lock in defensively when it mattered. I mean, you see 87 points put up, you're thinking, what kind of defense is that? Well, there are some lapses where some teams in this era of basketball, just really hit tough shots and take a lot of threes, and they're going to hit more threes more often than not as this game continues to evolve. So I really like how Coach Bowash continues to work in his players to keep sticking to the principles of closing out on shooters and not fouling shooters when they come down from a jump shot, and just being smarter with the ball and working every possession to the full extent.
All right, well, it has been a fun couple of days here at the Sawyer Center in this GAC NSIC Crown Plaza Classic, and we thank everyone for tuning in, whether you're a fan of any of the four teams. Appreciate the support. And the final here in Game 2 today was the Crimson Storm getting by the Minnesota State-Moorhead Dragons by a final count of 91-87. All four teams end up going 1-1 here in their two games in Bethany, Oklahoma. For my partner, Connor McKenzie, this is Alec Trebin saying good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You've been watching SNUathletics.com.